Hello there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope everybody's doing well. This is part 6 of our City Skylines build here, and I'm taking you on a tour using my horrific camera skills. Please try to ignore them. Because we've got some devastating news that's not all bad. But when we come back to this city, hopefully in the next episode, it might not look like this. So I figured I'd show you our original build and then explain to you why. In the last episode, I mentioned that I was not getting any residential demand at all, and that industry kept going through the roof. And that industry kept begging for raw materials even when I didn't have the DLC industry set up. And I was getting very confused, and I spent hours. This would be my Monday, your Tuesday, because today is my Tuesday, so this will be tomorrow's Wednesday. Whatever. I went online yesterday and I searched and searched, and I'm sure that you have all seen this chart. I've seen it, and my twisted brain has a hard time with it. But it does say raw resources. Whether it's industry, DLC, or just specialized zone, they do need raw resources. But this is imports. Can be exports, but it's mostly imports. And it does go to generic industry. I never knew that. I don't ever recall having this issue before. But the reason I never had the issue before is because after all is said and done, and everything that I did learn, so I'm very excited about this. This is not a letdown. I'm not going to quit and try again. I never hooked up trains. In every other build I ever had, I made sure I got my cargo trains installed rather early. I didn't do that this time, and that was the problem. The minute I hooked up the train, everything fell into place. But I have also included DLC industry. We do have farming and we do have forestry. And I told you I was going to be working on ore and trying to find a good place for oil. But the farming and the fishing, the forestry, and the fishing, they do need warehouses. But if I had had the cargo train up and running from the start, this probably would not have happened. So as a result of what occurred, the demand for residential stopped. Until you can fix your industry, don't quote me on any of this, because this is like partial retention, which is always the case with me. If your industry is screwed up, nothing else is going to work, if I understood that correctly. So the minute I hooked up the cargo train, things started like dominoes. They just started to fall. And I did not get back my residential, but they stopped asking for raw materials. I also did put down a warehouse. Now, I didn't think about fishing at the time, so I'm not even aware that there are warehouses for fish. Maybe there are. I could go back and look. So it was the cargo train all along. So I'm very happy about that. Also, they highly and strongly and strenuously recommended that you ignore the commercial bar, the blue bar in the middle. And not ignore it entirely, but at least 3 different people, and I'm sorry I can't tell you who they are, because this was like looking it up online and then being recommended a video or 2. And if it was under 5 minutes, I watched it. So I couldn't tell you who it was. I'm sorry. The blue bar should remain in the center. That's all they said. And if your orange bar goes above that center, you need to concentrate on industry. And then the green should follow. And green should be paid attention to more than the other two. That's what I got out of it. I could be wrong, but that's the way I understood it. So with all that being said, I now have to go back into the city and remove 90% of my commercial, big and small, dark blue and light blue. I'm going to eliminate a majority of my office and a majority of my industry. And then you have to wait. And when the orange bar spikes, then you go in and you add little by little office and industry. Now, if you don't want a lot of industry, and if you are using the DLC, it is recommended that you continue increasing with office. But you do need yellow industry, regardless of using DLC or not. So a little bit of yellow and a medium amount of office is what they recommend. So I have to go into this city and do all that. And then I got to sit back and wait and hope that everything works the way it's supposed to. Fingers crossed that it does. I think that it's going to. I think what happened here is I just went a little overboard and I went a little too quickly. I knew where I wanted to build and I knew what I wanted to build, and I wasn't really paying attention to those 3 bars, but I think I've mentioned it before. I used to concentrate way too much on that, and I decided to let it go, and that's probably something I should not have done. So I'm just going to keep an eye on my orange bar and hope and pray that my green bar returns, because it's not. Because this happened the last time with the very last city that I was working on. I had to quit because days went by, and I mean human days, not game days. And that green bar just never showed up. And then the blue bar disappeared and the orange bar was barely visible. And this was human days that it went like that. And I'm like, well, you know, this city's obviously dead. But at least now I know why. And that makes me feel 100%. So I guess this is another milestone in my City Skylines career here. Sump pump. Trying to learn how to play this game. But I feel very confident about this one. I'm noticing with my janky video here that my walkways are way too high, so maybe I could go back in and lower those while I'm waiting for my green bars to return. But yeah, a majority of what you're seeing right here, well, this is dark green. I think the only business I'm going to keep is this strip in Oriental Park, our original city. I'm going to keep that strip down Main Street. I'll leave that open. And then I'll get rid of all the other business. Maybe keep a couple of them in our new neighborhood by the ocean. But I'll get rid of a majority of that. I believe there's a lot more dark blue business in that neighborhood than this one. And I'm going to have to get rid of our little corner thing that we're coming up on here as well. There are dark green in there, but not enough to hang on to. So I think this whole neighborhood here has got to go. Because to be honest, and the more I keep thinking about it, when I went back in and redid this, I'm sorry, I can't speak. When I came back and redid this particular neighborhood, that's when the problem started. And I'm not blaming it on this neighborhood or the fact that I redid anything. But I think I put too much commercial in this one corner. And that may have tipped the balance. I don't know. So we're going to have to get rid of that too. But this is what I'm going to do on my own. I'm not going to bore you with the details other than this boring video here to explain to you what I intend to do to try to kickstart the game again. And then I will let you know in tomorrow's video if it worked. And gee whiz, I hope that it works, because I would hate to have to end another series halfway through because everything broke. And they do break because of me. It's all my fault. It's not the fault of the game. I like to blame the game when I don't understand what's going on. But then when I finally figure it out and it's like, oh, okay, so yeah, it was me again. I did something stupid. I did not know that was the case. And it's always that way, so still can't knock CS1, can we? Well, let's not get too humble here. There are a few things about this game that I wish they had changed before they concentrated on CS2. But that's here nor there anymore, isn't it? I guess we don't have to worry about it. What we see is what we get, and they've moved on. Yeah, so this whole area here, a majority of this is dark blue, light blue, offices, and then one little pocket of dark green. But I'm going to get rid of the whole thing. I hope I made sense. I hope what I explained made sense. And I know I shouldn't repeat myself, but I just want to be crystal clear here. From what I understood based on everything I read, and that chart that we've all seen and know and love. If your industry goes cuckoo, your city will just cease to move forward. You have to pay attention to your industry. So their demands are important. They're more important than commercial. It's commercial that you have to, I don't want to say not care about. One fella, I can't quite remember how he put it, and I'm sorry that I sound so stupid. But he said when your industry says not enough buyers for products, does industry say that or does commercial say that? I don't remember, but he was talking industry, so maybe the wording is different. But when your industry is saying something to that effect, it does not necessarily mean that you need more commercial. It means that you're not getting the industrial goods where they need to go. So, say you have an ideal amount of commercial in your city, and you start getting that message. What it means is you don't have enough routes to get what they're manufacturing out, which means you're not exporting. So again, that is tied in with your cargo trains and your airplanes and your shipping, which means that's what you need to concentrate on as opposed to just plunking down a ton more commercial. And again, if I'm wrong, you're welcome to correct me, but that was what I understood it to mean. So that's what I intend to do. Now, I have been thinking about cargo shipping since I started this. And maybe I concentrated way too much on how my citizens feel about the view from their window, which is how I've really been taking this from the word go. I think I came in here with a set attitude, and that may have been a downfall of mine because I had so many problems with my previous attempts to get at least to Megalopolis, right? How many times have I done this? 4 or 5 times? But it is a learning process for me, and again, I feel so relieved to know that it was a combination of me and the game. Can't lay 100% of the blame squarely on me, but now that I'm aware of what I need to do, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do it. I have to sit around and wait, and I don't know how long that's going to take. Maybe there won't even be a Thursday video if I have to keep waiting to get some green, because you can't move forward without green. I will apologize for this video. It's choppy and I don't have a mod, and I know there are mods out there that do a great job at cinematography, but I had to get rid of the one I had. If anything says it's not updated and it's not in conjunction with my game, whatever it's called, the update, whatever, my current version, then I got rid of it. And did you guys happen to notice that those two super tall buildings switched places? I could have swore the first time they went up it was on the water side, and now they're both on the Oriental Park side. Maybe it's my head, I don't know. So I did come in here before I made this decision, and I added more of my, oh boy, unique buildings. I just plunked them down. But I'm gonna try to concentrate a little bit more on tourism too, so maybe I should use that train line that's right to the left of this little new area here and add a passenger rail just to see if that might perk things up a bit. And you can tell too, traffic does not seem all that bad anymore. I'm telling you, I'm crediting the map maker this time, because the way they set up, did that truck just go underneath the road? Oh my goodness. The map maker set up the road system in such a way that I'm just not having. The minute I mess with his or her road and try to connect something, that's when everything goes wrong. So I'm leaving their roads alone and I'm just adding my own. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful map. And I don't think that it is tropical. I'm pretty sure it's temperate, because the natural tree for this particular map is, I think, the generic pine and the generic green tree. Is that what it's called? Tree with leaves or something? No pine trees anywhere, so that's a good thing, because that was what I wanted to go for, just a temperate, or not boreal. Boreal's a little too dark, so a temperate map. And I have a lot more tree choices that way. But I do hope you enjoyed this view. Yeah, see, my walkways are way too high, and look at all the people still at this metro stop. Now, I did check my traffic and my bus and my metro routes before I made this video. My traffic was at 79% and no complaints. With the bus lines, they're all being utilized, and the metro. They're all being used. They're not getting clogged up. They're not getting bogged down. Everybody's getting on. Nobody's bored, waiting. I'm really surprised by that. Maybe that will get even better after I fix the city up. But do keep your fingers and toes crossed with me that my decision to do this works, and that we can move forward and try to get to 70,000. Now, I have to tell you, we left off at, I believe, 32,000 in population. That is probably going to plummet, and we're going to have to wait all over again, so this may take a while. This road was very hard to record. I'm sorry. It's jumpy all over the place. But we are getting to the end, so you can say, yay, finally, we get to get out of here. So yeah, I'm afraid we have to say bye-bye to a lot of this area here. This is our newest area. I'm going to keep my decorations, so obviously the lighthouse will stay, the beach will stay, my rocks will stay. But the neighborhoods themselves are going to have to change. And boy, oh boy, I hope this works. I hope I learned something from reading all those articles and watching those videos. I hope I retain it, and I hope I understood correctly what they were trying to say. That's always the worst part with me. But I do hope you enjoyed this, and I thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. Wish me luck. Like the video if you did. Subscribe if you're interested. Take very good care of yourselves. Have an absolutely fabulous day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, city. I hope you can come back. Oh boy, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. All right, you guys, you take very good care of yourselves. Have a terrific day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.